Salutations, Utopians Global here. Three blowouts tonight in the NBA. Earlier today, the NBA announced the new format for the draft lottery 3-2-1. A little confused by it, but it just basically, trying to prevent another Spurs Dallas Mavericks situation. No back to back first overall picks. Uh, I think, and just some very nuanced rules to prevent tanking. But what I want to talk about is the NBA deciding to once again allow Brad Stevens to win Executive of the Year again. And let me make this clear: um, probably not a wise decision to speak on anything the Celtics unless you're just absolutely worshiping the ground they're on and acting like they just invented basketball. But once again, you know, someone has to speak, at least try before the Ottoman Empire gets destroyed. Brad Stevens inherited the job in Boston uh, as a head coach, and he flamed out quickly. Somehow, that led to him getting promoted to a front office, and Danny Ainge subsequently, somewhere down the line, ends up going to Utah and helping them do their massive shameless rebuild. Speaking of why the lottery tanking system had to be adjusted. But it's just wild to me uh, witnessing, like, first of all, why the league is so hell bent, this franchise, in making this former Butler head coach uh, into this some type of basketball Pat Riley genius. Um, I've never seen a coach flame out and get pushed up to it and get promoted for it. But during his tenure, this is the same guy who pushed to get his former pupil in college, Gordon Hayward, and proceeded to start him over Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Unfortunately, Gordon Hayward got injured severely from a lob from Kyrie, the other player that they went out and acquired to try to win immediately now instead of him doing what he was supposed to do with his team and properly rebuild it slowly. Uh, and it was an epic disaster. And they did what they were supposed to do from the beginning, which is, bank and invest on Tatum, a lottery pick, and Jaylen Brown. Anyway, fast forward, his first Executive of the Year award. They had the highest payroll in the league. They were a super team. I don't know how they had Porzingis and Drew Holiday, but for some reason, besides the fact that they may have been selling the team, which was for the second most only to the Lakers, who have the most value, 15 billion, they sell their team for 8 billion and win a championship that same year, all in the same year. Tatum and Brown are $300 million players, first tandem to get that, supermax. And he had nothing to do with drafting those guys. They got Derek White, but they didn't draft Derek White. Peyton Pritchard is definitely a respectable player who won a six man of the year some point down the line. But fast forward, and now the league does it again. And it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, are you are you guys tone deaf? Are you crazy? Whose idea was this? Like, first of all, if you're watching, they're in a dogfight with the Philadelphia 76ers, who I did say had everything it took to make it to the playoffs and be a threat in the East. But, like, the way they're getting shredded, Tyrese Maxey has been absolutely psychotic for them in terms of how to figure out how to stop that. And it comes from the loss of Drew Holiday, who willed Portland in a obvious lopsided series with the face of the league, a future of the league, Wemby less Spurs takes over a game, and you're and he single-handedly helps win them a playoff game. And you never replace that because you had to replace him because you were in salary cap hell. Third apron team, and had to get out quickly. What type of champion? Like, the irony of that. You won executive of the year, even though it really was just the fact you outspent everyone, and this year you were running around looking for bailouts. That's like JP Morgan Chase putting out too many bad loans, getting bailed out by the government, and then saying we're America's bank. We are the world's number one leading bank. When you needed bailout from your own crisis, you relocate Anthony Simmons, who's third in the Portland Trailblazers history in 3-pointers made. He's struggling. He's in this weird role where it's like, you know, it's not your team, but we need you to kind of be a second to Jaylen Brown. But, we might start you. We might have you come off the bench. We're trying to figure it out. Very blurry role. That didn't work out. That flamed out. They end up trading him for Vucevic, who's also not even getting barely any minutes. So you had 2 strikeouts in 1 year, and people are like salary cap shed. You can't call Anthony Simons a salary cap player. You can't call Vucevic, who's been for almost 2 decades, a 20 and 10 perennial player every year, and he has a 3-point game and gets to Boston in his loss. You acquired those players. Those are not salary cap shedding players. And if you notice, this is the franchise in Boston, mind you. So the same franchise that was able to get Ray Allen and KG in the same offseason to offset what LeBron was doing as he was on his way to ascending and becoming a threat to Kobe, Jordan, all these guys who have 5, 6 rings, you know, which were, he's already probably the most overall talented player and gifted player to ever play the game. And now the rings were on their way. And then they put together this felonious Boston team off of favors from, because Danny Ainge used to play and there's all these connections. It's the organization. But it's like, okay, then give a championship. I mean, give Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year. Give Neemias Queta Most Improved Player, who was like top 5 in the league in field goal percentage this season. They gave it to Nickeil Walker-Alexander, another mind-blowing decision this season, because he didn't even turn up until the second half of the year, and it was really forced because Shea to me was to start the year looking pretty decent, and then they forced this guy Nickeil in there, and they got CJ for Trae Young, and they went on this weird whatever run. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Dream just got Angel Reese, so it's like, mind you, the NBA runs the WNBA, and it's all weird to me. But I'm watching all this, and I'm like, okay, so, and last but not least, Jaylen Brown was playing like the best two-way player on the perimeter. He's not going to get, you could have named him an MVP, but, obviously, I guess the league is against American-born players getting MVPs now. We got to just keep acting like every international player just clears every American player. But I just didn't understand it. And I'm watching it again tonight, and I'm just like, what do you mean he got executive of the year? You flopped on 2 trades in the same offseason. We're rewarding salary cap shedding? Are you serious? Like, that's what an executive of the year is now? Canceling your own work? You needed a bailout? You overspent and then you needed a bailout, that's the only reason why y'all won, and y'all do it again. And this is why there's a desensitizing towards these awards. Like, nobody argues anymore who has the most MVPs. It's getting to a point where it's not even arguing about rings almost. Just who's the better player. What is your preference and why? Accolades don't hold any meaning anymore. Depoys giving 4 to Rudy Gobert. And then the discourse around the league drives me crazy. Shaq said a very normal surface level breakdown. Are you sure it's Rudy who's locking up Jokic, or just Jokic is having a funk? Oh, Shaq doesn't want to give Rudy any credit. Well, Ant was out last game. Jokic went right back to his usual self. Every time a player has a bad game, they want to rewrite their entire history. I don't, bro. Bro. I don't got anything else more to say. I'll try to be more informative next time. Utopians Global out.